AITA for going off on the mother in the toy store. I'm 28M, my brother's caretaker, 21M mental age 7 to 8. Our parents decided at 18 to tell us to screw off, so when my brother, let's call him Bill, turned 18 I grabbed him and enrolled him to get his GED since he didn't finish high school, and take care of him. His chores are to clean his room, help with laundry and set the table for supper. I get paid by the state and you better believe I make sure his needs are met. He's my little bud. At the end of the month for each day he does his chores he gets a sticker. At the end of the month that sticker gets counted as $5 and he uses the money for whatever he wants, like toys, special snacks, etc. He loves this. He's been so good lately with chores. I took him out for burgers and fries and took him to the toy store. My brother is big, not fat, just tall and actually big boned. He's healthy weight and overall health. He gets excited and stims by flapping his hands. You do you little dude. At the toy store he announced he wants Barbies. Cool, no judgment, and we go look at Barbies. He's stimming and rambling about what he wanted and meanwhile a lady and little girl come in the aisle. Not even 2 minutes pass and the lady tells us to go to another aisle. She wants to look at the dolls and his weird hand movements are freaking her out. I tell her to wait her turn. Not even another minute passes and she tells my brother to knock it off and go look at something else. Now I'm pissed. Tell my brother to get what he wants and looked at her and told her, her daughter could use a better role model. I'd hate for her to turn into such a grouchy hag. Took my brother out to pay for his Barbies all while ignoring her telling me how much of an asshole I am for saying that in front of her daughter. AITA? NTA. If she was so freaked out, she could find a different aisle. She's raising her child to consider people with disabilities as scary or abnormal, and that's just shitty parenting. Unless your brother was saying or doing something inappropriate, she had no right to ask him to leave. I nip inappropriateness in the butt ASAP. All the little dude was doing was talking about wanting to see if his Barbies could wear the boy clothes and stimming. NTA, you were a lot more polite than I would have been. Also, you sound like a wonderful brother. I try, patience and talking to him helps. People act like he's a puppy. He's on the lower end of spectrum, but if you really stop and just explain things to him and let him process it at his own speed, then he's fine. He just needs to take his time, slow and steady. NTA, people should be more considerate of others. Kindness goes a long way. Good for you for taking care of your brother. Need more of this in our world. NTA King, I have so much respect for you. You handle your brother's care excellently, and also don't buy into the whole gendered toys bullshit and let him get what he wants regardless. Keep doing you, and all the best to you and your bro. The way I see it is simple, they're toys, they don't have gender. Some days he wants to play with Barbies and only play as Princess Peach, and some days he's playing with dinosaurs and playing as Mario. I'd be exhausted if I tried to police his playtime. AITA for not changing my rules and terminating care. I have a home daycare. I like to think I'm pretty lenient, but I do have one big rule: don't make me the bad guy. I understand we might have different rules, but don't make your child resent me by not backing me up. Anyway, another rule is I don't allow outside toys or electronics. Kids can bring stuffed animals for nap if they're sleeping on rest mats, but I don't want to be responsible if something gets broken. Years ago, I used to let kids bring whatever. Then a cheap McDonald's toy broke by accident, kid was upset and mom got mad at me. So now it's a hard rule. Most are okay with it. But I have a new kid, 3, whose mom wanted him to bring his tablet because he needs it. I said sorry, but no, I'm not going to be responsible for it. We went back and forth, but finally she just says fine. But every morning, he's crying because she took his tablet from him in the car. She always gives me this look and says, Miss Lucy says no tablet. I always try to say we have plenty of toys, but the kids spends the whole morning sulking. I've talked to mom, asked her to leave it at home and not even put it in the car, but she says he needs it. It's been a month and yesterday was the straw that broke the camel's back. Kid came in crying as usual. I tried my usual redirection, which didn't work. Mom was giving me a look of see what you did. Then she had the nerve to say to him, I know you need your tablet, we've talked about this before, Miss Lucy is strict. That pissed me off. I ended up telling her to take him home right then and there. She was shocked and tried to stammer. He was my first kid of the day, so there was no scene. I just handed back his backpack, said he was no longer a student of mine, and began to pack his extra clothes and the sippy cup he kept. Mom was in tears as she left. My husband thinks she was right. I'm too strict and should have broken policy instead of causing drama. AITA. Edit. There was no medical need for the tablet. It was all just that he wanted it. Edit 2. I'm not making a waiver for electronics. That won't stop other issues with the tablets, such as jealousy and drama. Edit 3. Who reported to Reddit care that you think I'm suicidal? Where did you get that? Edit 4. So my don't make me the bad guy rule has been misunderstood, partly as I worded it poorly. I don't expect blind obedience. No one has to agree with my rules. They can challenge them, to me, but to their kid. I'd rather them explain everyone has different rules and that while they're with me, things will be different. I do the same with parents who have different rules than mine. I never say they're wrong or strict. I say that we have different rules at school and to listen to mom and dad. This is also a policy for pacifiers, bottles and potty training. I'll approach any of these milestones when you ask, but you have to be working on it at home too. The kid won't progress if they only go pee on the potty at home. And the child was not autistic or non-verbal. If he was, an exception would be made. I accept I'm TA for terminating with no notice. That wasn't right. Final update/edit. I returned her money for the last few days of January and texted an apology for terminating without notice and said I hope she was able to find care. She said she left him at her mom's. She also asked if there was any way I'd reconsider and I said no. We had a long phone call and no minds were changed, but it was the ending we should have had. NTA. The mom's behavior is disgusting. She agreed to your terms by having her child attend your daycare and then undermined your authority with her weird passive-aggressive behavior, which teaches her kid nothing about following any societal expectations. Good for you for showing mom and child behaviors have consequences. NTA. She had an entire month to explain to this kid that there can be no electronics at daycare. He chose to act like it was a big deal every single morning, so of course kid is going to act that way. Obviously she wasn't even trying to follow the rules. You did right. In situations like this, you give an inch, and they will take a mile. Someone else will demand an exception. It becomes too hard to keep up with it all. Anyone with a sob story will get you to waver. You are doing the right thing to just stop it now. Your husband is kind of being a jerk about it. Why should you bend the rules for this one kid? What does he care? I'm sure you can find someone to take his place. What kind of example does it set for all of the other kids? Also, a 3-year-old should not need any electronic whatsoever. Kid is a toddler. Should not be that attached to a screen. He probably never actually parents that kid. I'm sure the tablet does all the work for her. I had a parent W, a 3-year-old, and she used tablet for surveillance on me without my knowledge. I figured it out the second day and dismissed him from my own daycare for the contract violation. I had a non-disclosure clause with all the parents against recording the kids or posting pics on SM. Since I had no control over what the kid recorded and could get posted, I had to fire the parents. NTA. If her only explanation was that he needs it without any context or information, then she knew your rules before enrolling her kid. She can't expect people to bend to her every whim. Edit. Because it took me 9 hours to realize me spelling mistake. Fuck dyslexia. Edit 2. Because I fucking did it again in my edit. AITA for telling my sister she was dating my bio father. So, my life's turned into a bloody soap opera recently and I could use some outside opinions here. I, 24F, am the product of my mom having an affair. Fortunately my dad decided to forgive my mom and keep me, and I had a pretty good upbringing. But I don't really look a lot like the rest of my family. I'm the only redhead, among other things, and I did ask questions of a why am I the only one with insert trait here. Nature. Growing up, when I was 17, my mom took me out for ice cream and introduced me to my bio father. She said that she felt I was old enough to know the truth, and explained about her affair, while also A, making me promise I wouldn't tell my older sister, 27F, in the present, and B, hammering home along with my bio father that he'd never be part of my life and didn't want me. It was a lot, I won't lie, but I learned to suck it up and move on with my life. Fast forward to the present. My big sister's always gravitated towards older men. We like to joke that it's the result of too many George Clooney movies growing up, and 2 months ago shared a picture of herself and her new boyfriend, who, to my shock, turned out to be my bio father. I debated what to do for a couple of days, then ultimately decided she needed the truth and told her. My sister did not take it well and dumped him, but she wasn't angry with me. Honestly, by now she's kinda amused, says that since she banged my dad she's my mom and has extra power to boss me around now. My mom, on the other hand, is furious. She says I divulged something that wasn't my secret to share, and that I had no business telling anyone. That since bio father isn't related to my sister, it didn't matter if he dated my sister, and it wasn't like they were talking marriage anyway. It's been 2 months and she's still angry, still snide, calls me a traitor and finds excuses to make loud comments about how I can't be trusted with anything private or important, so beware. At the time I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've never seen my mom this angry before, and she's sustained that anger for 2 solid months, so I'm starting to worry. Did I actually do something really shitty? Am I the asshole? Edit. Wow, this got a lot more comments than I expected. I can't answer everyone, but I do appreciate every comment and the support that I'm getting. 2 months of having your mom furious with you takes quite a toll, so it's been really relieving seeing so many NTAs in the comments. Thank you all. I'm trying to read everyone even if I don't reply. NTA. Your mom is taking her feelings about herself out on you. Calls me a traitor. She's the one who cheated on her family. I can't be trusted with anything private or important. Says the woman who couldn't be trusted to stay faithful to her marriage. It's weird and messed up that your mother wasn't the least bit ticked out that her daughter's father was hooking up with her other daughter. Her feelings must be a category 4 hurricane right now. NTA. She needed to know that. That's weird and a little too close to home. Also, it's kind of messed up that your older sister was never told about this key part of her family history. Also, if your bio father knew who she was and her relationship to you, that's really weird and creepy. Thank you. I don't know if he knew. On the one hand, my sister doesn't exactly have a lot of family photos in her apartment. On the other hand, social media's a thing and my sister's not trying to hide her family, so shrugs. NTA. That's creepy as hell. Imagine if your sis ended up marrying or having a kid with him or something. Your bio dad would be your brother-in-law, your niece would be your bio sister, and your older sister would be your stepmom. Yeah, no, she needed to know about that, and you're not an asshole for telling her, as she isn't even mad. Your mom, on the other hand, shouldn't be mad either, because does she seriously want her daughter to marry her fling? Question mark. My mom's argument is that I could have at least waited to see if it became more than a fling. My sister and my bio father hadn't been dating long, and she feels like a shallow, casual relationship wasn't worth getting bothered about. I feel differently, of course, but I like to think at least that she would have said something if they'd gotten engaged. NTA. Few things are more your business than your family history. 1. It is entirely inappropriate for another person to say you need to keep secrets about yourself, and that's exactly what this was. 2. It is just as inappropriate for a parent to divulge infidelity to their own child and then expect them to keep the secret. That is not healthy parenting. And your mother is as big an asshole for that as for the original affair. You are not responsible for your mother's good name, nor do you need to hide the truth of your history in order to make her more comfortable with her own poor decisions.